Hi, hope you're having a great day. You're watching JG Entertainment, and for this video, I'm gonna go over Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves first reactions and reviews as the movie just screened. So I got a sample of 5 different critics giving different opinions about the film, what they like, what they didn't like, just to let you know what you might expect from this film, things that are positive, things that are negatives, and to give you an idea of just like the film in general. So yeah, let's get started. So the format of the video is that I'm moved to the side like that, and then I'll put the first reaction review right here to my side, and you can either pause the video and read it yourself, or I'm gonna read it so you can read along with me, or just hear me out. And after that, I'm gonna kind of give you a breakdown of what the critic is trying to say about the film, and then yeah, that's what we're gonna do for these 5 different first reaction reviews. So yeah, let's get started. So the first one comes from Andrew J. Salazar, who said, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves is better than you're expecting. Laugh out loud hilarious, inspired action, and creative visuals from start to finish. It's not perfect, but I would easily watch more of these. Never doubt Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly. So yeah, that's what I have to say about the film. It's very positive, really saying that it's better than you're expecting. So keep that in mind. It looks like it's actually going to be pretty good. It's better than anybody's expecting according to this person. Saying that the action is very inspired, so it's definitely going to have like this very fresh action. Saying that it's really hilarious. Saying that it's laugh out loud. So it has to be really, really funny. And that has some very creative visuals, which I'm very interested to see. Even from the trailer, they do look very creative and very unique. So I'm very, very excited. They do mention that this film isn't perfect or nothing, but that they would definitely watch more of these type of films if it does end up becoming a franchise. So yeah, that's very exciting. He also added this one quick note saying that it's also really cool to see practical effects get used a lot. So it looks like they're going to use a lot of practical effects, which you can kind of already tell from the trailer, and that's very exciting to see. I'm very curious to see how it looks in the film. I think it's going to look awesome. Alright, the next question review comes from Brandon Davis, who said, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves emulates the energy of Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers with a chaotic story. Daly and Goldstein deliver on humor and fantastical, continuous shots while the cast looks to be having a good time. Machado Rodriguez rocks. So that's really awesome, saying that first of all, this movie contains a lot of energy, similar to Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers, with a more chaotic story. So that's exciting. I think that the fact that it can replicate stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers is a very good sign, saying that like the cast and the crew really came together to have like this really nice assembled team. I think it's gonna be awesome. Saying that Daly and Goldstein deliver on humor and fantastical elements, kind of what the other review also said about these two people. So that's awesome. And it looks like the cast is just gonna have an amazing time. So that you can kind of tell that from the script, from watching the film. So that's awesome. And Brandon Davis also mentioned that Machado Rodriguez rocks, which is super awesome. I never really ever seen Machado Rodriguez other than in Fast and Furious. So I'm very excited to see her in this film. Apparently she's gonna be awesome. So I'm excited to see what she does in this film. Alright, we're on to the next version review, and this one comes from Katie Carter, who said, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves is a hoot. I could never recap the plot on the fly, but it wholeheartedly embraces its weird, fantastical/comedy tone. Please note that I have never played D&D in my life, but I still had a great time. So this one kind of gives you an interesting perspective because this critic has never played D&D. So it kind of gives you a perspective of if you haven't played D&D, should you expect to like this movie? And apparently, according to this critic, yes. Saying that the movie's a hoot, saying that the plot, it's very messy because apparently they can't recap it at all, but that it wholeheartedly embraces like kind of the weird and fantasy elements they have along with the comedy, and that apparently it's just a really good film. So they had a great time watching this film despite the fact that they had never played D&D. So if you never played D&D or Dungeons and Dragons, whatever you want to call it, then it looks like you're still gonna enjoy this film a lot because apparently it's just a really good film. So yeah. Alright, the next one comes from Brian Tallarico, who said, Dungeons and Dragons. You know how the game often gets made up as it goes along? The movie is it has a lot of that energy, which is a blessing and a curse. Best of reminded me of Raimi, and worst of Bull. More in Sunday's review. So it looks like this critic had kind of very mixed opinions on this film, saying that the film very much felt like it was being made up as it was kind of coming along, kind of taking that same thing from the game. The game, of course, is you kind of have to make it up as you play it and whatnot. So it definitely feels like the movie got to replicate that. And apparently, according to him, that's both in a good way and in a bad way. Like it has like its messy side to it, and it kind of loses its sidetrack apparently. But at the same time, it makes for like this really fun type of thing that you never really get to see in the film. So I think that's interesting. Saying that the best stuff kind of reminding him of like Sam Raimi type of stuff, which I'm very excited to see, and then saying that the worst kind of remind him of Bo. So that's just interesting. And if you want to hear one of those critics' thoughts, you can just go check out his review today. But yeah, very interesting to see this kind of like mixed bag type of reaction and review. Alright, moving on to the last first reaction review, or like the fifth one that I have for you. And this one comes from Kevin Lee, who said, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves is a fun, silly time. Storytelling can be a bit clunky at times, especially for me who's unfamiliar with the terminologies and lore, but it's quite funny, and once it hits its dragon set piece, and especially the third act, it's a blast. So that's really awesome and really positive once again. Kind of gets you once again like a kind of a different perspective, because these people, as this critic isn't really familiar with Dungeons and Dragons that much, saying they don't know the terminologies or the lore. So they say that it's kind of got them a little bit lost at times, especially with the story still being kind of clunky at times. So story's kind of clunky at times. Plus he doesn't know like the terminologies, so that kind of got him mixed up a little bit and kind of got him lost a little bit in the film. But they do mention that the movie is very funny, and they mention that once it gets to the dragon set piece and the third act, that it's just a blast. It's just such a fun time, which is super exciting. I'm very excited to see how the dragon set piece comes along. I really am excited to see that set piece, and I'm very curious to see that third act, because the third acts are really hard to pull off and to deliver. So the third act is where like the movie really has a blast. Then it's gonna be a really fun movie, because it's gonna end really strongly. So I think that's very exciting, and it definitely looks like the movie is going to be a blast. So yeah, tell me what you think about this down in the comments. Are you excited to see this film, and are you gonna watch it after hearing these reviews? And what are your expectations for it? Do you have like an 8 out of 5 or like a 9 out of 5, or I don't know? I'm just very curious. 8 out of 5, 8 out of 10, or a 9 out of 10. I don't know why I said out of 5, but just tell me your expectations down in the comments. I'm very, very curious. And if you're gonna watch it, as well, tell me that down in the comments. As well as please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. It'll be very helpful. So please leave a like and subscribe for a lot more content, including reviews, character rankings, box office analysis videos, all this type of content. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any other content, because I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And this is Jeremy Entertainment, out.